and mostly the girls belonging to the suburb community. Uh, they have the propensity of for the country-made liquor,
Okay.
and that is damaging their future and their future generation. They are yet to come out of that. Uh, this is what we see at the present moment. We need to equip them in English, Bengali, and particularly arithmetic, if not. Another thing I would like to mention that the basic starting point is awareness about hygiene. So what we have observed over the last 10 years or so, that their general health condition has improved because uh, some practices are being introduced forcefully in the school, so they have to follow that, and the villagers, some of the villagers who are also their guides in the school, they impose those rules on the students, and so they are getting habituated with washing their hands, washing the utensils, keeping their rooms clean, etc. So we have already observed that the basic health has improved. So this is one important thing that they should learn
Yeah.
for the better future.
Yeah, that's true.
That is what another thing we are trying to concentrate on. Okay.
Yeah. Sir, I also wanted to ask you, I saw that you are also basically doing kind of a teacher training when you are in the evening.
Right.
You are teaching the parents. You are reading them novels.
Teaching the teachers.
Teachers and
Teachers training kind of.
Teachers training kind of. The teachers who will be teaching them basic Bengali letters and arithmetic. So, and I saw that you were reading the novels of writers like Arup Roy. So I wanted to ask you how have you developed the community? I mean, the older community, the one of the age group of those teachers. I mean, how have they developed through the time that you have been here? Because children, they are in that ripe age of developing, and it's very easy to teach them, and they take that knowledge very easily. How have you motivated those parents in doing so?
Actually, the basic thing that I have been able to, if there is any kind of achievement,
Yeah.
only thing that I could achieve is the trust of the people.
Yeah.
So in course of the different interactions with them, I came to know that there is a language in which they speak, but they cannot write, because the language is kind of a mixture of Bengali, Hindi, and Mundari. So there is no script in which they can express themselves. So they have to study in the local schools where the medium of instruction is Bengali. Since they are not Bengalis by birth, so whatever language they are trying to learn in the school, all are virtually foreign to them. And they being the tribal people, they are a kind of lazy people who do not want to exert much in learning new things. So after a few years of trials, they leave learning, and therefore the teachers that you have seen, whom I am trying to train up, they are mostly on an average past class 8 and not beyond that. So their basic acquaintance with the Bengali letters is there. Some basic words they know, but they cannot construct a proper Bengali sentence. Even if there are one or two graduates, they cannot read even a paragraph in Bengali uh, well, and also they do not understand the meaning of each and every word.
Yeah.
Now, important thing that they have realized themselves that they are lacking in this aspect. So, after last 9 or 10 years of acquaintance with me, they approached themselves that they want to learn Bengali. So that is one important advantage because they wanted that thing themselves. It was imposed on them.
Yeah.
And that is why, since I have already have some kind of a knowledge about their grasp on the subject, so I could plan my course in that way. But that is what I am trying. That to I chose Abanindranath's Raj Kahini because it involves kings, queens, kingdoms, forests, tribal people,
Yeah.
gods and goddesses,
Yeah.
with whom they have some kind of idea. They have their own gods and goddesses. They are basically forest people. They are tribals themselves. They have, once upon a time, they had a kind of a king. So, historically, they have some kind of idea with this. And with that, Abanindranath's stories is a beautiful Bengali. So, the Bengali words, their constructions, all these things are incorporated in the total culture.
Yeah.
And that is, I thought that it will be convenient for them to learn.
Yeah.
At the same time, I have started introducing small stories by Sharat Chandra Chattopadhyay, like Ramesh Sumati, etc.
Yeah.
And since they have now grasped the language a bit, they are enjoying. They are enjoying Ramesh Sumati. So in this way, we are progressing. Now we have different plans.
Yeah.
I have planned to give them education about health. I have planned to bring people from outside who can educate them in computer. So these things are needed for them to survive in the modern world,
Yeah.
and that is what I am trying. So let us move step by step.
So can you say something about the watershed project? I went there yesterday and saw the 30-40s, which are neatly dug on a slope so that the water can seep in through the ground,
Open and accumulate and
accumulate,
ah,
and also the ponds that they are being dug. I thought this was probably a 4 to 5 years project.
it is about that 5 years
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
Now this is something that we are thinking about for the last 3 or 4 years, because during summer there is huge water scarcity. Even in the mountain springs there is no water. The tube wells, they often dry up, and the wells that were already dug up by the government authority, those have already dried up. So they didn't have even the minimum water required for agriculture. So there was these horrible conditions we have observed, and so we are absolutely concerned about the future, because there is random cutting of trees in the forest.
Yeah.
So water level is going down. The place being surrounded by mountains, and is a kind of a valley.
Hmm.
When there is average rainfall, it is not that bad in this area. Whenever the rainfall, the rainwater just runs off the slope of the mountains and go to the rivers,
Hmm.
and at the same time they take out the topsoil.
Hmm.
So there's huge damage that is being caused. That leads to one important thing, that the water level is going down.
Hmm.
Underwater level, underground water level is going down.
Hmm.
So some experts came with me 2-3 years back, and they said that this is an ideal place for watershed. So then so unless the we felt that unless the the watershed management is done,
Hmm.
in near future, the village Amlsole will cease to exist, because the people will have to leave the place.
Hmm.
And where they will go, they don't know. How they will earn their livelihood, they don't know. So we felt that this is essential to have a comprehensive watershed in this area.
Hmm.
But we observed that the government is not that they do not know it,
Mm-hmm.
but they are not very keen
Hmm.
in doing the watershed here
Hmm.
with an urgent basis. So it would have been ideal if the government could take up the project
Hmm.
with immediate effect, because it takes 4 to 5 years, and there is huge amount of money is needed,
Hmm.
because the watershed is to be done not only in Amlsole but in the adjoining areas.
Hmm.
So it is a huge area, huge process, and it needs the involvement of the local people, their labor, etc. All these things are needed. So it's ideal for the government to do it. So unless, if we have to do it,
Mm-hmm.
we need money. So that is why the whole process is being delayed.
Okay.
Because we got money from some sector, so we are skeptical whether with this we can continue in future, but we have to find some way out.
Sir, I saw the little books that you have written for the children that have I felt that should make the pronunciation of difficult words much easier phonetically. Um, sir, first tell me how many books have you written, and like
I
how?
have already written 5 books, 6 is in press.
Okay. And do you distribute these books among these children only, or in general?
Because this book these books are written keeping in mind of the general students.
Okay.
But these students, actually, since they are basically guided by my principles
Mm-hmm.
of how one should get acquainted with the letters,
Yeah.
etc., etc. So mainly these students, they are given those books and they are taught through that process.
Right.
And teachers are being trained again
Mm-hmm.
to follow the method given there.
Yeah.
Sometimes